What's going on, everybody? Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It is Friday, October the 31st. We are here talking about the almighty MoveQuest, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you that missed that call last night, first of all, I want to apologize to the folks in my Telegram community. I had put out a note saying that it was going to be a seller's call. I was mistaken. This call really was a great call to explain the boosts and the new stuff that we've got going on. Of course, to talk a little bit about the tokenomics and what this can do even with the engaged the folks that had already been a part of MoveQuest and already had gotten their wallets, and there's so many of them that just disengaged, right? If they re-engaged, we would continue to see this amazing token going in the trending way that it's going up. For those of you that stayed in the trenches and kept on submitting, even when it was $2, even when you were just scratching and clawing to get your submission fees in, you're being rewarded a little bit here. And of course, the sky's the limit. We're not getting overly excited about $18. Of course, we've seen it at 100. So I'd love to see it get to back place, but man, oh man, does it feel so good to start to see it move in the right direction from what seemed to be just a small change in the most, and it makes the most sense because at one point, MoveQuest was just shelving out tokens, right? And of course, we had a certain community size at a point and people were engaged and all that stuff. But at a time, it did decline. And of course, the system was just keep on doing it what it was being told to do. This algorithm that Lynette has created to have the distribution of the token tied to the demand, right? The folks that are submitting, as it raises and falls, it has an equation that tells it what number of MoveQuests to distribute to the community. And I think that's genius. And as we see community engagement continue to increase, because this is one of the best ideas ever. I mean, if it makes sense, it makes dollars. This is a platform that is a move to earn opportunity in cryptocurrency, which is the one of the largest trending things that are out there right now in the financial world. And it's a way to continue to keep ourselves healthy. First and foremost, our physical movement in our bodies. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, some of you don't know, but for those of us that do know, 10,000 steps a day for 90 days can really change your life. And I'm a living testimony to that. But what this has done past that, since of course I've been in MoveQuest for quite some time, a little over a year now, it's allowed me to keep it off. It's allowed me to continue to stay healthy and feeling healthy and motivated about getting the work in, getting some of this active activity in. And you don't have to be some Olympian. You don't have to be an NFL athlete. A lot of those professional athletes, you're getting your steps anyway. But for the working class person, you're out there doing your thing in the real world. Whatever it is that you do, you're making an impact in the things that you do. Right now, if you're not in MoveQuest, I don't see a way that you're earning off of the steps and all the different things that you're doing anyway. Now, of course, you're getting paid from your jobs, hopefully, and whatever, but um, not to shortchange that at all. But for the things that we're doing anyway, for the things that we're doing that God has gifted us the opportunities to do, get up in the morning and walk around and be with our families and enjoy our time. This proof of physical activity concept has been proven to work. MoveQuest has been at the forefront of Move to Earn, and this is a great time to link arms with MoveQuest. I can't say it enough, and I've already said a lot just starting this video, right? I haven't even got to the fact that first, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. And I'm not your financial advisor, right? I am just a dude on YouTube showing you guys how I am cranking it out in many different opportunities and platforms. But MoveQuest has really changed my life, and I'm just excited to be able to talk about it today from the standpoint that I have. So we're going to talk about it and the amazing things that I got going on. If you guys want more information, of course, holla at me. I ain't hard to find. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm everywhere you can find somebody. All right. Holla at me. We can get you rolling. We can get you started. And especially if you're those leaders out there that are finally looking for something you can link arms with and aren't afraid to get out there and do a little bit of movement. And, I know that there are some leaders out there that prefer the extremely passive. I got a little change. Let me go ahead and just put a little change, let the thing do what it's going to do. But I like having control over this. I like that it's totally decentralized, and I like that it's tied to what I enjoy. I enjoy moving this body of mine. I don't take it for granted. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are right along with me as well. You have an opportunity to earn an amazing token right now. So let's talk about that token. I want to jump into the coin market cap on Google Chrome real quick. I can show you guys what. Hold on one second. There we go. All right. So I'm gonna refresh this page. To that last, right now it is at $17 and 17.3, $17.30. Someone just sold, or a couple people just sold. A few people may have just sold, and that's the beauty of blockchain, right? You can see all the different transactions right here. People are selling, they're taking profits, and good for them, right? Good for them. Somebody just sold $7,000 worth, and was it a liquidity removal? No, it wasn't. So someone sold this. They were able to put $7,000 in their wallet. That's what I see that as. You know, if somebody decided they wanted to sell 443 MQT, good for them. The fact that they have the ability to do that is what is so powerful here, ladies and gentlemen. We've been mining this token with our physical activity since it was $1, right? It wasn't that much. It wasn't that long ago that it was down here at $2. I can scroll on back here and I can show you guys. It was not that long ago. We were scratching and clawing down here. All right, $3. All right, $2.96. Still submitting. Then the algorithm, the brilliant idea that Lynette had to change the distribution of the token, it was just genius. It made perfect sense. It made perfect sense. And now, you know, people are getting back re-engaged, not just because of that, but because of the ecosystem. There are these things called boosts now that people are excited about. The hatcheries are here that people are excited about. You know what I'm saying? So, and who knows what could happen with this sell-off of MQT. You know, there's going to probably be some liquidity added pretty soon, and we could see this price shoot up again. And I'm not some crypto analyst that knows, you know, all the different ways to be looking at charts and different things of that nature, but it doesn't take it doesn't take a very smart person to see that MQT is now trending upwards, and it has been since, I'd say, what is this, October the 14th. All right, it's now October the 31st. This thing had seen its drop-offs, but it just kept fighting back. Liquidity added. MoveQuest never sells MoveQuest. So anyway, that is what the token is doing right now. I'm just so excited about it. All right, so getting into the MoveQuest dashboard. All right, there's some things that I kind of want to talk about. All right, the first thing that I want to talk about is the boosts, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I have had the opportunity to use these boosts. Now, for me, the best way for me to use them has been in the application. All right, that is where you use the boost. That's where you're doing your submissions. That's where you're doing all the good stuff. All right, so if you don't have the application, you need to go to the App Store on your phones, whether you have Android, Apple, whatever the case may be. It'll help you get in the get started part, right? When you first get started here, it's very easy. You go ahead and connect the wallet. You activate. You're going to put in an activation code. Okay. Now, if you're on Google Chrome and you have your MetaMask browser here, you'll be just fine. All right. You have your MetaMask extension come up. It'll help you connect and do all the things you need to do. If you're using your phone, I highly suggest using the MetaMask browser to connect to the dApp. And make sure we're using legit links, ladies and gentlemen. And if you're not sure, make sure. All right. Get to the person that sent it to you and make sure, hey, I want to make sure I'm seeing this right. All right. It even says at the top, check that you're on app.movequest.com. All right. They have both the links for the mobile application right here on your back office. All right. So you'll need those. App Store, Google Play, it's there for you. You go ahead and get the application. All right. And when you jump in the application is where you're going to be able to see these boosts and apply these amazing boosts. All right. So here's what they kind of do. Okay. For those of us that push past the limit, right? For those of us that have gotten more than the 12,000 steps consistently, and they're kind of, you might have a very active lifestyle already by nature, right? What this limit boost enables you to do is increase your limit by a percentage, all right? So 10%, 25%, 50%, 75%, and 100%. you can increase that limit, which allows you to now get credit for pushing past the limit, right? You're now able to earn more shares of MQT because of that boost. And you can buy as many of them as you want. You can only add one per day, but you can also combine them with a performance boost. Now, here's why I mentioned that, because this rest boost we're going to bring up in a second has to be a standalone thing, but we'll talk about that in a second. Performance boost, okay? What performance boost allows you to do is it takes the performance that you've already done and it adds to it. So say if you got 10,000 steps and you have 10% boost or a 20% or a 30% boost, you're now adding to the steps. But not only the steps, you're adding to the sleep, you're adding to the workout, you're adding to the distance, you're adding to every one of those categories as long as you have something in it. Now, I want to make sure that that's clear, and I'll clarify that. But if you don't have anything in it, it doesn't have anything to boost. So I've seen a situation, I think in my own wallet, where for whatever reason, my phone didn't track or my watch didn't track the sleep. So when I added a boost to it, there was nothing to boost, right? So make sure that you got something to boost, okay? But if you do have something to boost, ladies and gentlemen, these two really kind of change the game. And then, of course, your rest boost. So here's a cool thing, and I'm gonna jump on my phone and see if I can show you guys in the application what I think is a really cool thing. So yesterday, just a little story, I had a long driving day, all right? So when you're in the car a lot, or you're driving a lot in a day, you don't really have a whole lot of time to get out and get your steps, all right? So I may have gotten 4,000 steps or something like that. I've already gotten close to 4,000 steps today because I've gotten over 5,000 steps today. But anyway, neither here nor there. I was driving a lot yesterday, so I was like, okay, this is a perfect opportunity to see what's up with this rest boost. So, ladies and gentlemen, I got the opportunity to use the rest boost, and it really was an amazing thing because here's what it allowed me to do. It allowed me to take advantage of my best day. As you can see, right up here at the top of this first round here, the one that's October the 30th, it allowed me on that day. You see, I got 4,000 steps and or just south of 5,000. I still got my calories burnt. And I think I may have been able to step out and do some push-ups. Or so I always do my push-ups and stuff like that. Distance wasn't that much. Workout time wasn't that much. Sleep wasn't that great, right? But I was able to grab my best day, which just happened to be the day before, right? So 13,000 steps, 4,000 calories, just south of 6 miles, workouts, and a boost was added to that day, right? So it took that day and it just applied it to this day. So now I'm able to use that rest day. Now, I want to make something clear. You only get 2 rest days a week. So once you use this, I think you have to wait 2 or 3 days until you can use another one, all right? But ladies and gentlemen, I thought that was just an amazing thing to be able to use, okay? Here's another thing I want to mention. This project pool section, right? When I click on project pools, of course, we see the great bullish moon there, right? And I've been trying to make sure I'm getting more consistent with submitting on bullish moon when I can because their token is launching in the first week of December, I believe. All right, so about another month as we sit here on October 31st, in about a little over a month, we're going to see bullish moon launch its token. And I want as much of it as I can have when it launches, all right? Because it's been getting the support of the community for quite some time now. And it is an amazing educational platform that I'm going to be talking about more as the coming weeks and the months go on. I just think we need to start talking about the education portion of crypto. And it might be sooner than later. I'm just working out the bandwidth within myself and all that different stuff. Anyway, so getting to this, I'm able to apply the same boosts that I used on the other submissions right here on these as well. And all of this was covered by Waleed on the call last night, which was an amazing call about the boosts. Just really well explained. So I suggest everyone go and check out that call. It's in my Telegram group. If you're not in my Telegram group, make sure you go and jump in there. If you are involved with MoveQuest, if you want to know more about MoveQuest, hop on in and scroll around. All right. Anyway, It allows us to submit on that level with the other projects as well. So as more projects are added here, which there will be more projects here added one day, you know, we can submit with the same boost that we used here on our mining our MQT. And I think that's an amazing thing. All right. Now, I was running into an issue. For those of you that are still listening, I was running into an issue yesterday where I was trying to purchase the boosts, right? And it was saying invalid or the balance. I didn't have a balance, right? So I reached out to some folks that are really helpful. Herschel and the team have been extremely helpful to not only me, but the whole community. You guys know who they are if you've been tapped in. So shout out to Herschel and the whole crew. But I reached out to him and he was able to explain to me that the reason why I wasn't able to purchase my boost and it was showing I didn't have a balance was because I didn't have MoveQuest in my actual internal wallet. And while we may have MoveQuest, when we claim our MoveQuest and stuff and it goes to our external wallet, right? Our internal wallet, this spending wallet, has a place to have MQT as well. So we see here in the external wallet, I have my BMED, my Bullish Moon token that I've accumulated or whatever. I've got my AVAX. I've got my MQT, right? I've got a couple of MQT in there, okay? But in the spending wallet, you need MQT as well. All right, so here's how you do that. When you go to your spending wallet, this wallet up top here, right? Should say, you know, it was right up at the top. It says spending wallet there. You want to copy and paste that wallet. Well, you want to copy it first. Then you want to go to your MetaMask. All right. And I believe you can go. I thought you could send it from here, but the best way to do it is you just go back to your MetaMask and you send MoveQuest to your wallet. All right. You send it to the spending wallet. You take this wallet address, and when you go back to MetaMask, you click on MQT and you just send MQT to your spending wallet here. And then when you go here and you purchase your boost and you click on boost, and you say, hey, I want, you know, because obviously I've stocked up, ladies and gentlemen. I got 78 limit boosts, you know, 73 performance boosts, 74 rest boosts. I'm stocked up to do whatever I need to do for quite some time, right? But just for the sake of example, if I wanted to purchase, you know, say I wanted to purchase some limit boosts, right? And I want to purchase some 50%, right? Let's just say I want to purchase some 50% ones. I can click it. I can change the amount that I want. It'll tell me how much it's going to cost me, right? So for all of them, it's telling me how much it'll cost me for moving this ticker up, all right? All of these are changing. Hope you guys can tell that. If I wanted 20 of these 50% boosts, right? I can click it. I hit continue. It's going to confirm with me, hey, you're going to receive 20 limit boosts for 50%, 4.405 MQT, right? I know I have that in my spending wallet because I sent it there yesterday. I hit confirm. Should say starting transaction just like we see when we submit. And once that's done, it should say transaction in progress. It shouldn't say balance issue or anything like that. Boost purchase successfully. All right. So now I can see in my limit boost here, I've got 20 at the 50% and I've got 78 at the 100%. You can have as many of these as you see fit. All right. You just got to have the MQT. All right. But you go and buy MQT. You can go mine MQT. However you get MQT, you can use it in the ecosystem to do this. You also, I'm not sure if you're able to do this in your, because it has all my different miners here. I'm not sure if it allows you to upgrade your miners right here in the app, because you can also do that with MQT. All right. So it would make sense that, you know, over some time, maybe they'll be able to, unless I'm missing something. Because like I said, listen, this is the stance I wanted to have a long time. I wanted to have all my docking slots filled with Titans. And I honestly believe, right, as we start talking about this the different things that are going to be available for the leaders and folks that are growing teams and all that different things of that nature, and sharing this amazing project with the world. I believe the best stance to have is to have all of your docking slots filled with the most powerful miners that you can afford. All right. I'm not here to tell you to spend all your money on miners. I'm not here to tell you that. But I do believe that you should start with unlocking all your docking slots. All right. One, because MoveQuest is literally giving you miners at this right now for unlocking your docking slot. All right. That's not going to go on forever, because pretty soon when leasing happens, we're going to have, all these different miners that I have here in my miner section. I'm going to put them up for lease. I mean, I got Titans that I'm not even using right now that I'm going to put up for lease. People are going to be able to lease Titans from me. It's going to be a part of the ecosystem. For those of you that were on the call on Tuesday, we are pretty soon going to be able to rent our proof of physical activity. So here's what that means, right? For this day that I had 13,000 steps and 4.5 thousand calories and just south of 6 mile distance and a 3 hour and 50-minute workout and 2 hours of sleep, I'm going to be able to rent that to somebody. They'll be able to pay, I'm probably sure in MQT or whatever the MoveQuest says, and they're going to be able to rent that if I make it available. I believe you have to make it available for them to rent it, of course. And some people may just decide to keep mining. I don't know how that's going to roll out. But what Lynette said on the call was we're going to be able to pretty much not only lease the miners to people so that they can do the work on their own, but even for the folks that, may not be able to do as much movement as some of these superstars out here that can get 25,000 steps, 30,000 steps like it's nothing, right? They can max out like it's nothing. Those people are going to be in high demand because folks want as much MQT as possible, and they're going to be able to, if they make it available, they're going to be able to rent their physical activity to whoever wants it, whoever's able to afford having it. All right. Me personally, I want to be one of them people that can rent their proof of physical activity if that makes sense. And I'm out here killing it. Why not? You know what I'm saying? It's just another way to participate in this amazing ecosystem and keep us active and keep us healthy and keep us moving. I think that's an amazing thing. All right. First and foremost. All right. So I'm just kind of moving through stuff back here through the application. But one thing that I wanted to make sure that I talked about today is for you to get the boosts on your device, right? You want to make sure that you send MQT to your wallet here. So even if you have to do this, even if you have to copy and paste this right here, right? And you have to go to your back office and you've got to go into the dashboard, and you've got to come here and you've got to come and buy MQT, right? What you can do, you just click on buy, and it'll take you to Sushi Swap, and you can do the what you need to do. All right. There's many ways to acquire MQT. As you can see, people are buying and selling it. So this is the kind of stuff we like to see. And I don't mind this nice red candle because usually when that happens, there's a nice look at what the liquidity has been doing, right? Just yesterday, it injected probably, we can do some quick calculator math. I'm gonna round this stuff up just to be more exciting. You got 32,000 plus 50,000 plus 10,000. Round that up to $92,000. So you can even get more excited and say just short of $100,000 was added in liquidity just yesterday. And that was just from liquidity. There was a lot that came in from people just seeing this as an opportunity, coming in, buying it, and deciding they wanted to come in, ride a little wave, and sell it. Hey, people are going to do what they're going to do. This is crypto. There's nothing stopping them from doing that. You know what I'm saying? But this thing was built to not be taken advantage of by whales. So they can do it as they want. I don't understand all the tokenomics, and I'm not going to act like I do. But one thing that I do know is, this is continuing to grow. I want to share with you that for those of you that are interested in being a person that has all their mining dock slots open with all miners that are Titans, understand we paid $7.43 in AVAX per day to submit our proof of physical activity. All right. And that's a commitment that we make. But man, when we see this price of I was making that same commitment when the token was $2, not that long ago, just a couple weeks ago. So there's some sacrifice to it. But man, we gonna feel good when that price gets to 100. And man, we gonna feel even better when it gets to 400. Man, we gonna get feeling even better when we see it get to 1,000 and 5,000 and 10,000, because this can happen. And who's to say? I mean, there's communities of gym goers and people that run marathons and people that listen. Let me just stop it, because for those of you that are still listening, I just want you to think about the possibilities of what this thing can do. I want you to think about regular life and what you see in your own regular life. I know my regular life and what I see is not the same as everybody else's, but I can almost assure us all that we've experienced some community that has a marathon or that throw golf tournaments, right? Did you know that 18 holes of golf, if you walk it, you're gonna walk anywhere from 5 to 10 miles. All right. 9 holes of golf, you're gonna walk anywhere from a mile to 4 miles, right? Leisurely activity, getting your workout in. It can, 9 holes takes a couple hours. That's 2 hours of workout time. There's going to be MoveQuest golf tournaments. There are going to be MoveQuest marathons. All we have to do is tap into the communities that are already doing it and show them how this can apply to what they're doing already. There are communities out here that are road runners. I mean, my dad has been he was a part when I was growing up of a road runners club in our county. And that was literally a bunch of people that just went out there and ran for free because they liked to. Like they just ran for fun, and they competed and keep time and all that stuff. But you imagine all those people out there getting steps in and not submitting their proof of physical activity to the blockchain, all because they don't know. One day they'll know and they'll have the option. We're not here to force it on, but we're here to let them know that this is something that is real. And just like people are getting onto the Bitcoin fad now, people can really change their lives with MoveQuest. I'm just here to speak from my own personal experience. I have changed my physical life with MoveQuest. I mean, I look totally different than I did. I won't say totally different. I don't look crazy different. I'm still the same person. But all that being said, this is continue to keep the motivation high. These boosts are genius because they keep our community engaged. Even on the days that we don't feel our strongest, we still have options because of the rest. We have the rest day. On the days that we may have killed it, right? We get that limiter. We get to extend our limit and earn even more MQT share. For those days that we may you may be right on the brink, or maybe it wasn't your best physical day, but you showed up for yourself. You still had an active day in your own personal life or whatever you had to do. You may not have gotten all the steps in, but you have the performance boost now. So that can boost your performance. And, I'm not saying that these are always going to be the most affordable things, but ladies and gentlemen, right now, these boosts are like a couple dollars. They're literally like in-app purchases on your favorite game on your phone. You spend a couple dollars, you might spend a couple dollars, to boost your performance on your game. But this is like your real life activity. This is like real life RPG. This is like real life RPG game. Pretty soon we're going to be seeing avatars and stuff like that pop up on MoveQuest. This is a whole community that is growing, ladies and gentlemen. We have an opportunity right now to get at the forefront of it and start sharing it with the world. I challenge you guys to share it with the world. Share a legit project with the world for once. Let's share something legit. Like we've been in the hypes and we've done this and that. I still got people reaching out to me about BS. Let's share something that can really help some people. All right. Let's share something that can really pour back into people's lives, like literally give them some years back. If you were a person to just jump in, get some miners and get active, get submitting your proof of physical activity, ladies and gentlemen, not only will you change your physical life, but look at what this platform has done over the last couple weeks. Imagine what it's going to do over the next few months with the algorithm at play. It's only gonna the distribution is only gonna move if the community moves. The community doesn't move or move the needle, it goes back to where it can still sustain itself. That's what keeps it. That's what keeps it at an even keel. That's what keeps it level. That's what it keeps it sustainable. And there's plenty of liquidity based on, if you get on the calls and you listen to what, Lynette is showing us, even if you just look at what coin market caps. Ladies and gentlemen, we have an opportunity on our hands. We ought not to spoil it. All right. MoveQuest is something that can really change people's lives. And I'm going to continue to talk about it. All right. You're going to continue to see me do it. I'll do shorts on it. I'll do videos on it. I'll continue to update the process and the progress and all that great stuff. We're going to continue to talk about it. All right. And pretty soon, MoveQuest is going to afford me to do some pretty amazing things and to be able to share that experience with the world. I'm going to get us all moving. There's so many people out there moving right now for free. For all you fitness influencers out there, this is a new cutting edge technology that can really add to your community in a trendy way. Because I know fitness influencers do care about the trends. I'm sure they're trying to figure out, how do I get involved in that crypto trend? Just like crypto folks are trying to figure out how to, get crypto involved in other niches too. This is the perfect way to mix finances and wealth and health and fitness. It's perfect. It's MoveQuest. All right. That being said, put your 2FA on all the platforms that will allow you and all of your wallets, because crypto is indeed the wild, wild west, y'all. And if you ain't strapped, you are bound to get hacked. All right. Ask me how I know. It is not very fun at all. If you like this content, hit subscribe. You want to be updated and notified about everything going on here at BOJ. Make sure you hit the notification bell as well. And please, sir, and please, ma'am, don't get scammed by that WhatsApp man or anybody out there trying to get your keys, your wallet information, trying to fish you with links, trying to send you emails. When you listen, there's been MoveQuest emails going out when MoveQuest don't got your email. All right. Don't fall for it. This is a decentralized platform. They got wallet addresses. They don't have your email. All right. So if you're thinking you're getting an email from MoveQuest, let's pay attention to what's going on. All right. And there's been plenty of communication out there. So listen, let's not be one of those people with sob stories about, I sent my crypto here and there. Right. We have to get smarter. We have to move smarter. And I'm going to end with a story for those of you that are still listening, because I think this is important. I think education is important. And this is a part of the reason why, as soon as I get some time, man, I really need to link up with Nick Nesbitt and talk some Bullish Moon. So shout out to Nick and his community. They're about the education around cryptocurrency. Okay. And it is so important that we stay educated on cryptocurrency. All right. There are still people that are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars to scams in this space. But here's what I want to highlight in there. And I know it's like, highlight, BOJ, you want to highlight someone's hundreds of thousands of dollar loss? First of all, I've been there in front of all of y'all. All right. I've lost hundreds of thousands of dollars in front of all y'all. All right. For those of you that are just joining us, hey, welcome. We've lost before. Okay. We've been there, not to desensitize the loss, but to understand someone's been there with you and we bounce back. Things are going to be okay. Right. But what it taught you to be able to lose that much crypto. Usually people that get taken advantage of like that really don't know that much about cryptocurrency. But what they had to learn and able to send that amount of money in cryptocurrency to anybody is valuable information that I don't believe that 90% of the people in the world know, which is how to buy crypto, how to buy it in large capacity, like a large amount of it, over $10,000 worth of it, over 5,000, and then send it to somewhere, something, someone, somebody, some wallet address at the end of the day is what happened. So 90% of the world doesn't even know how to do that, because 95% of the world don't even have wallet addresses. The opportunity that we have in crypto right now is so huge that if we don't pay attention, we are going to be left behind. I don't want anybody to get left behind. I want us all to pay attention to what's going on. All right. But it's going to start with learning. Okay. Even some of the biggest exchanges out here, Coinbase, Kraken, crypto.com, they have education on their platform. They have educations in their wallets. Use this education, okay, to learn how to avoid scams, how to avoid being taken advantage of, okay? Because you don't want to get left behind and you don't want to just give away your assets, okay? If you had raw gold, you had a lot of it, someone just emailed you, said, hey, send me your gold and I'll send you double it back. Would you do it? Would you go and round up all that gold that you accumulate, real solid gold that you've accumulated, and just go send it off to somebody's address, somebody's P.O. box, and just hope they was going to send you back double your gold? He was going to get a FedEx truck pulling up outside with a heavier box than you sent that was going to say, hey, thanks for the gold. Did what I said I was going to do. Sent you double, you go back. So we're not going to do that with crypto. We're not going to do that with our cryptocurrency. It's not what we're going to do. We're going to protect it the best way we can. Okay. Now, getting involved with projects and different things like this, like MoveQuest, there's some trust involved that you have to pay attention to the project and what it's doing, and that's why it's called a blockchain. That's why there are white papers and light papers and all these different proof documents that you can go straight to the homepage of MoveQuest and get. And if you learn how to maneuver through MoveQuest, which is a solid, actual, legit platform, I do believe that you will be better equipped to find future solid platforms, because things of this nature aren't going to just stop coming. Opportunities aren't just going to stop happening in this space, ladies and gentlemen. MoveQuest is giving us an opportunity to see a legit one that can not only change our financial future, but can actually change our physical lives. And I can't tell you how many people are going to come into 2026 talking about they want to go into the best shape of your life. How about you go ahead and download this MoveQuest app and we start a 90-day challenge right now, and let's see where you are in January. There's one going on in the community right now. Shout out to Herschel and his elite MoveQuest challenge going on right now. So the challenge is there for all of us that are willing to rise to it. But here's what I wanted to share with you guys. They got an official news. DAP Help Center official merch shop is coming. But they've got their contract addresses right here, MQT contract address. So you can look it up. They used to have their light paper up here. The DAP Help Center. Well, this pulls me to the Help Center. But here's another great thing that I just want to mention since I'm already running my mouth. They have customer support. You can literally click this link and jump into a Zoom, and whatever issues that you're having getting connected, whether you're having an issue with your wearable, what your options may be without a wearable, making sure that you are linked up and getting your miners and everything that you're trying to do, there is help for you. How often has there been help for our community other than from a scammer that's trying to help take your money? He'll do anything to help you get whatever you got. I continue to hear stories about people that have money locked away in things, and they say, oh, well, if you send us another $7 billion, we'll unlock your $100. I'm exaggerating, of course, but that's the stuff we see. So anyway, all that being said, I love what MoveQuest is doing. Right now, if I'm looking at the price of MoveQuest, just refreshing the page, it's still at $17.28. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited about what we've got going on here. And I believe that we all should be too. All right. I'll see you on the next one. It's your boy BLJ. This is MoveQuest. Peace.